Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another Hogwarts Legacy video, and beware of some potential spoilers ahead because the Hogwarts Legacy trophy or achievements list has been revealed, and it features some information, some very minor spoilers on what activities you may be doing in the game, and some more important plot devices that we will come across as we progress through the game. And there are plenty of them, so without further ado, we'll start off with the first trophy, and of course, the first thing you'll be doing in Hogwarts Legacy is being sorted into your house. So Shock, the Sort Who Makes an Entrance trophy, is for completing the introduction and finishing the sorting ceremony. So we can expect that to be a cutscene followed by you selecting your house. This will be after you've created your character. We will probably have this trophy before we have to deal with any gameplay at all, because you'd imagine after the sorting ceremony, you will go to your common rooms and that will be when you begin gameplay. So these trophies are not listed in chronological order as you progress through the story, but the next trophy listed is Grappling with a Graphorn, which you earn by subduing the Lord of the Shore. And a Graphorn must be a magical creature that we come across throughout the story. It is potentially the lion-ish beast that we've seen in some of the promotional material that I'll put up on screen now, but it's unclear whether this is a side activity, a side quest that you'll be able to choose whether you do at some point in the story, or if this is part of the campaign and you will definitely come across this Lord of the Shore, this Graphorn. Now what is almost definitely a side mission is viewing all of your pensieve memories for the trophy, The One Who Mastered Memories. So potentially this is how we're going to get context for our character, because you must assume that the memories you're viewing are of your characters rather than anyone else's. And whether we have to break into the headmaster's office to view our memories, or if we're going to find one hidden somewhere else in the castle, we'll just have to wait and see. But one of the most exciting trophies here is the Hallowed Hero, because you earn this trophy by wielding a Deathly Hallow. Now in a previous developers video, we saw in the code that there was an invisibility cloak, and I was actually working on a video to talk about how we might see the Deathly Hallows featured in the game, and I may still have to do that video because this gives no more context, but you will be wielding at least a Deathly Hallow. But the fact that it doesn't specify any of them could mean that you might be able to find all three of the Deathly Hallows somewhere during the story at some point. I'm not sure where the invisibility cloak is at this time, same goes for the Elder Wand, so I can't wait to find out where we can discover the Deathly Hallows, and the fact that we can wield them means that potentially we could be using the Elder Wand in combat. Now what will most likely be the last or the penultimate trophy that we earn is the Hero of Hogwarts, which we earn for defeating Ranrock, who I believe is the main evil goblin that we've seen in the trailers so far. We see in trailers that Ranrock is teaming up with an evil wizard, but the fact that defeating Ranrock is a specific trophy here, potentially the wizard is removed earlier on in the story and we have to deal with Ranrock as the big final boss, well not big, but the short goblin final boss. Now what I would expect to be the actual final trophy is the Seeker of Knowledge, because you earn this for winning the House Cup. And it was told in the gameplay showcase, the stream that happened just a few days ago, that house points will feature in the narrative, but they won't be something that you can earn through lessons and generally throughout other time in Hogwarts. But they are most definitely included in the story. So it would make sense that winning the House Cup would be the final cutscene and wrapping up the entire campaign in a nice little bow with whichever house you've selected, hopefully, winning the House Cup. Now a trio of trophies here with the Avenging Gazelle, Beast Friends and a Sallow Grave, which you earn for completing Natsai Onai, Poppy Sweeting and Sebastian Sallow's relationship lines respectively. And we know that you can choose to befriend these three companions throughout the story and you can go on their own quests. Sebastian Sallow's, we've been shown, includes casting Crucio, so hopefully you'll be able to complete all of these relationship lines on the same playthrough if you go through all of the side missions before finishing the campaign. Otherwise, if you can only spend a certain amount of time with these guys, which I wouldn't expect to be the case, but if that happened, then you would have to do repeat playthroughs and focus on a certain companion's relationship at the time. But these trophies seem to confirm that there is no Ravenclaw companion that we'll be spending time with. You've got Natsai Onai as the Gryffindor, Poppy Sweeting's the Hufflepuff, and Sebastian Sallow is of course the Slytherin. But there is no mention of a fourth name to be a Ravenclaw, so I guess that makes up my decision for which house I'm going to be picking when I get my hands on the game. But Imelda is a side character you will encounter, specifically whilst on a broomstick, because Flight the Good Flight is awarded to you for beating Imelda's time in all of the broom races, so that will be a side mission that we'll be able to attempt at any time. And I expect that means that over time you'll be able to upgrade your broom to fly faster, because otherwise beating Imelda's time in all broom races could probably be done in the first 5 minutes after you're given a broomstick, so it would make sense for you to be working up to completing that trophy nearer the end. And one incredible trophy that you won't want to miss out on is the Defender of Dragons, because you get this trophy for saving a dragon. It doesn't mention riding them, but potentially we will encounter a dragon chained down somewhere. Again, we don't know where, there are no specifics, but at some point we will be saving a dragon, and we can only hope we get to interact with it more than just freeing its binds and it flying away from us. We will have to wait and see. We know we can fly on a thestral and a hippogriff and a broomstick, of course. Dragon seems like probably a stretch, at least to be flying around Hogwarts. Now, the Toast of the Town, the Aura's Apprentice, the Gryffindor in the Graveyard, and the Wise Owl are 4 trophies for finding the map chamber as a Slytherin, a Hufflepuff, a Gryffindor, and a Ravenclaw respectively. And this is very interesting for trophies, because you wouldn't expect to be able to change your house at any time during the story. So depending on where the map chamber is, whether you have to progress far through the campaign to find the map chamber in the first place, if we have to start a new save and play through in a different house to find the map chamber each time, we may have to go quite deep into playthroughs to earn all 4 trophies, even though they are only bronze. Perhaps once you've found the map chamber once, it won't be too difficult to find it again, but there are 4 different trophies up for grabs for finding it with each house. The Good Samaritan is quite a simple trophy. It's simply to complete all side quests, and Challenge Accepted is for completing all tiers of a challenge. And in a recent gameplay showcase, we were shown Crossed Wands, which is the dueling club where you can take on other students and practice your combat. So I would expect that to be a tiered challenge that you can come back to and try at higher difficulties. Imelda's broom races might also come under the umbrella of a challenge. And for this trophy you must complete all tiers, so all the way up to the most difficult one, and you will win Challenge Accepted. Now, Collector's Edition is not earned simply from paying stupid money for a floating wand on a book. It is for completing all collections, and you can find these collections by using Revelio throughout the map. You will find missing pages of information for you to increase the lore around the castle, and I expect there will be other collectibles as well. A Keen Sense of Spell is a trophy given for invoking ancient magic for the first time. So if I knew exactly what that meant, I would tell you. Potentially our character, who is joining in their 5th year, has some special abilities that allows them to invoke ancient magic, and doing this for the first time will be a big plot point and a big reveal that our character has some more powers that they potentially didn't know about when they first joined Hogwarts. Now, Loom for Improvement will be very easy. It's a simple RPG achievement, and it is given for upgrading a piece of gear, which will probably be our wand. Now, the Root of the Problem is given for stunning 10 different enemies using a mandrake, and we have been shown this in a previous combat example, where as an ability, our character will pull out a mandrake from their back pocket, cover their ears and hold it in the air, and all surrounding wizards will be completely stunned for a time after you put the mandrake back away, so you'll be able to get some free hits on them. And you have to stun 10 different enemies using a mandrake, so you can't just torment the one again and again as the stun wears off and then you pull the mandrake out once more. It will have to be 10 different enemies. And the Nature of the Beast is a trophy given for breeding every type of beast. And we know that we have the Room of Requirement, where we can grow plants, and potentially that's where we'll also be breeding beasts. Whether you have to tame a beast in the wild first for you then to be able to use it in this context, we'll have to wait and see. But potentially we will be breeding beasts that could fight alongside us in combat, because they would scare the hell out of some of these dark wizards. And as I mentioned, the potions, going through the potions is brewing every type of potion, and put down roots is growing every type of plant. So these will be things we can do in our downtime, and it was shown in a small gameplay section that growing these plants and brewing these potions will take time, whether that's real world time or Hogwarts time, which I assume the day cycle will be sped up, but some plants will take hours to grow, and hopefully that's Hogwarts time, because we don't want to have to go through lessons and then wait in the real world before we can go back and receive our upgrades. Now, 3rd time's the charm is just an extension of Loom for Improvement really, because this trophy is given for upgrading a piece of gear not once but 3 times. Now, a Talent for Spending and Savvy Spender are for spending 5 talent points and all of your talent points respectively, so they will be upgrades for our character, I assume in the RPG vein, where we will upgrade different attributes of our character, potentially our damage, our health, our stealth ability, our potions mastery. We will have to wait and see. Now, Room with a View is awarded for reaching the highest point in the castle, which they specify here as the headmaster's upper study. So potentially the pensieve, the pensieve, the place where you go and view memories will be in the headmaster's study, because clearly from this trophy that is a room that you will be able to access. And of course, with our student joining in the 5th year, the headmaster must have made some special exceptions, so they will probably be more lenient with us potentially exploring the castle and allow us into the study if they're there at the same time. If not, maybe we'll just be sneaking in. But I cannot wait to see the view from this point. I would love it. I know it's not Ubisoft making this game, but I would love it if there was a cinematic moment like synchronizing on a tower in Assassin's Creed, with the camera panning around showing all of Hogwarts, just to give us a real idea of the whole scale that we're experiencing. Now, Spilled Milk is named very appropriately, because to earn this trophy you must use Flipendo 10 times to tip one cow or several. So as it mentioned earlier, you had to use the Mandrake on 10 different enemies. Using Flipendo here seems like you can tip one cow using the spell, wait for it to get back to its feet and use it again 10 times simply to earn your trophy. But it's nice to know that we can interact with the wildlife around Hogwarts at least. Where will we be finding a cow? I have absolutely no idea, but I think it's better not to ask questions about this trophy. Flew Around the World is awarded for unlocking all Floo Flames, and that seems to be our fast travel point. So as we enter a new hub area, maybe when we enter Hogsmeade or when we enter Diagon Alley, we will be able to find some Floo Flames to allow us to fast travel back there at another time in the campaign. And Followed the Butterflies seems to be awarded for finishing a side quest, because it is awarded for following butterflies to a treasure. So maybe we'll be seeing these around the castle, and if you follow them, maybe they'll go through walls. Perhaps there's a bit of a struggle to keep up with them, but if you do, they will lead you all the way to a chest perhaps, like the butterflies in the Philosopher's Stone where Harry has to catch the broken winged one. Maybe there will be multiple butterflies, I'm using quotation marks here, which are just winged keys, and they could lead you to a chest to open. That's completely me speculating and no genuine knowledge based off of that. That's just my idea.
Each key will lead you to a locked cabinet somewhere in the castle. If you can manage to get the key into the cabinet lock, not an easy task, you may find a reward.
And Rise to the Challenges is for defeating enemies in all battle arenas. So we know for pre-ordering the special edition of Hogwarts Legacy, you can get some Dark Arts cosmetics, but you can also unlock the Dark Arts Battle Arena. So that seems to be similar to Crossed Wands, a place where you can practice your combat against increasingly difficult enemies, and maybe with a battle arena you'll have an audience as well, and hopefully a very cool design. If they're making a different one for Dark Arts specifically, hopefully there'll be multiple different types of battle arenas and many different types of enemies for us to fight. Merlin's beard is given for completing all Merlin trials, so potentially our character is a descendant of Merlin? Again, that's pure speculation, but it would make sense for us to be descended from a very powerful wizard or witch as an excuse for us to be allowed into Hogwarts at such a late year. And the Intrepid Explorer is for discovering all cairn dungeons, so those will be outside of Hogwarts, I expect, and potentially like tombs in Tomb Raider, where there will be puzzles and enemies to defeat and discover out in the open world. Whether that counts as a side mission specifically, or if it's just something you can discover in the world, we will have to wait and see. But Coasting Along is given for visiting Poidsere Coast, which might be one of the locations we've seen in the trailers already, and will almost definitely be a location that contains a cairn dungeon, because you would expect most places that aren't Hogwarts and maybe Hogsmeade, but there'll probably be something in a dark corner of Hogsmeade anyway, and somewhere such as Poidsere Coast would seem the perfect place to hide a puzzle away and for us to go hunting to complete these trophies. Demiguise Dread is a trophy given for finding all Demiguise statues. What that means, I have no idea. Potentially some statues that aren't actually statues, so we'll be able to see potentially they're facing the wrong way, the design's wrong. Once again, and I feel like I'm saying this for a lot of these trophies, but of course without the context and the fact that we haven't played the game yet, we don't know exactly what the Demiguise statues are and when they will be popping up. Now, the ends petrify the means is much more easily explained, because it is for defeating a total of 50 enemies using Petrificus Totalis, which has been shown in gameplay showcases as the perfect spell to use in stealth. So while you can absolutely still use this and have this used on you in open combat, you can also use Petrificus Totalis to keep your enemies stunned and silent when trying to progress through the game quietly. Now, we mentioned Ancient Magic earlier on in this video, but using Ancient Magic on every enemy in the game will grant you the trophy Finishing Touches. So it seems that we will discover Ancient Magic for the first time, probably early on in the story, and then we will most likely be able to develop and discover more Ancient Magic as we progress through the campaign, and that's going to help us out a lot in combat, I expect. Now, the Spellmaster is a trophy given for learning all spells in the game. So yes, that will definitely include some unforgivable curses, and we were told in the last gameplay showcase that you could stack 14 spells to use in combat at a time. So you see in the bottom corner there was a diamond of 4 spells, but while you're in combat you are able to flip between 4 different diamonds of spells. So there will be plenty of spells to learn through this game, and to get this achievement we'll have to learn definitely more than 16 of them. Now the real question is whether there will be more spells or more levels, because a forte for achievement is a silver trophy given for reaching level 40. Whether that's the max rank, the max level you can get your character to or not, we'll have to see, but it must be quite a significant one that we will reach quite a way into the story, if not after the story's finished and in the end game. Now we've gone all the way through these trophies, seemingly progressing through the story, but first class student is a trophy awarded for attending your first class, which I don't doubt will be within the first hour of playing the game. Now when Troll with the Punches happens during the campaign is a whole nother story, because this trophy is awarded for surviving the troll attack on Hogsmeade. So it won't be in the dungeon, it won't be in the girls' toilets. The troll attack will be happening in Hogsmeade, and we have seen us fighting trolls in gameplay snippets. So it says survive here. Potentially we won't attack the troll here, we will just be escaping with our lives intact, but at some point we will be taking the fight to these trolls and taking them down. Now we spoke about finding the map chamber as a member of each house, but in that map chamber we will be meeting Charles Rookwood. Now I'm not sure who that character is. Rookwood is a very familiar family name in Harry Potter to me, so I'm going to have to look up the Rookwood name. But Charles Rookwood could potentially be the dark wizard that we've seen in the trailers before. Why he would be in the map chamber and why this trophy would be called That's a Keeper doesn't make so much sense, so maybe Charles Rookwood isn't the name of that evil wizard, but he is someone who has found this map chamber before we have, and who will probably be waiting there to give us a side quest or to give us a hand in discovering Hogwarts. Now rising from the ashes is most intriguing because as a previous trophy gave us saving a dragon, rising from the ashes is telling us to rescue the Phoenix. Now it doesn't specify Fawkes, so this will probably not be Dumbledore's Phoenix, even though we know Fawkes can go through rebirth. This Phoenix, we don't know where it is. It may not be in the headmaster's study, it probably isn't. If it has to be rescued, it might be in one of these dungeons, it might be hidden away in the Shrieking Shack, we just don't know. But we do know that we'll be finding and interacting with a Phoenix at some point in this campaign. So the developers seem to be throwing everything we could want to experience in a Harry Potter game all at us in Hogwarts Legacy. Now the final trophy before we talk about that platinum is called Raising Expectations and is given for reaching a combo of 100. We had exactly the same trophy in Marvel's Spider-Man and in Spider-Man Miles Morales, and I made a video on Spider-Man Miles Morales trying to explain the best place where you can complete a 100 hit combo. So you never know, we might have to do the same for Hogwarts Legacy, but we will clearly be having a lot of enemies thrown at us if we're expected to reach a combo of 100 at any point in this game. So that has made me very excited, and potentially already the Battle Arena could be a great place to do this. So that is all of the specific trophies, and the Platinum Trophy is given for earning all those other trophies I've just mentioned. So that is a total of 46 trophies, and we must assume that there are no hidden trophies, because when I did a video like this for Jedi Fallen Order, there were some hidden trophies which contained spoilers for the plot. But this is mentioning defeating Ranrock, this is mentioning winning the House Cup, so it doesn't seem like there will be any trophies that I haven't just mentioned in this video. But let me know out of these which trophy you're most excited to earn. I'd be tempted to just say finishing the sorting ceremony, the first trophy we'll probably be getting, because that means I'm playing Hogwarts Legacy and that's all I want. But more realistically, wielding a Deathly Hallow will bring me all kinds of joy, and I cannot wait to do so when Hogwarts Legacy comes out next year. But thank you very much for watching this video. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe because there will be more Hogwarts Legacy videos coming out all the time, before and post launch. So thank you very much for watching this video, and hopefully I will see you next time.